Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Stocks go up, stocks go down. Then we see. Okay? So some things that, your memory, if your memory is good or you write things down, so you could actually create a spreadsheet, and down at the bottom, you create a tab. And on the tab, you have probably 100 different tabs. Okay, you could create a spreadsheet too and put it all in one spreadsheet. It's fine. But let's say you create a tab. So I don't do this, but I've told people this before. So you put down Apple. And then on a particular date, let's say 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, you say, market dropped 50, Apple down 4. And then you say, market went up 20 SPX, Apple didn't go up. Market ended up down 70. So just notes. You're putting notes to yourself, okay? And you do this for all these stocks. Now, I don't do this because I have this memory. I'm lucky enough to have this memory. Now, when I need Alzheimer's drugs, the memory goes away, so then I'm screwed. But anyway, so you have this memory, and you remember Sava. So Sava was at $70, and that short report came out and said all their data was fake. Well, it went down 10 or 20 points. And then somewhere along the way, and I don't remember exactly when, but then the SEC came in and did an investigation on it, and it went down another 30 points, and it went all the way to like $15, $14. Well, it starts to go up, and that short report came out, they did an investigation and said, no, that was fake. I mean, it was good. The report was wrong. So the stock goes up to about 25, 27, and it's holding. Because it can't go up because the SEC is still doing their investigation. And then yesterday the investigation drops, and they said, there's nothing wrong. Interesting, right? Wow. So it takes off. And then goes to 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, et cetera. And those things went all the way to $6 yesterday from 140. So now in theory, I'm going to give you a quiz. Where should the stock go to at least? In theory. Doesn't mean it goes today. Doesn't mean it goes this week. But in theory, where should it go back to? 70. Okay. So why wouldn't the 35s or 40s or 45s be a good opportunity? Nobody's saying it goes there today or tomorrow or next week or next month. But that means the trend should be higher. Okay? Very straightforward. History. Okay, let's do another history lesson. So when Powell came out last time, the SPX was down 35, and it popped to even. It went to even. And then it went down 150. Wow. Does it happen again? Don't know. So regardless of what you think the market is going to do, if somebody wants to come out here and talk with us, that would be great if you want to, okay? So regardless of what you think the market should do or how it acts, here's the simple question. What can Powell say that makes things better? Well, there's a few things he can say, okay? There's a few things he can say. He can say our terminal rate is 4%, and once we get there, I mean, think about this. He could say this. Once we get there, we are going to give it 2 or 3 months to see if inflation really dies, and we will not move over that if inflation is working lower. Market would love that, 4,200. Okay? He could say, we see inflation coming down right now. it went from 8% to 8.1%, and maybe next time it goes to 7.8%, which is not good, and which means, in my opinion, he should still keep raising. But he could say, we will do rate hikes every other meeting or every third meeting and see if this is going through the system. He could say that. Now, I don't think he's going to say any of that stuff, but he could. You want to try and figure out what he could say. Now, another thing he could say is, we're going to do 1% here, which would really, I think, would crush the market. But he could say it with a different thing. He could raise at 1% and say, we will not raise at all next month. It's supposed to be 75 and 50. Some people think 75, 75. So if he was going to say 1% and not raise at all next month, then you only got 1, then I think you possibly go up. Wow. Interesting. Doesn't matter. Then we see. Okay. So that's Powell. What does he do? Now, remember, you come out with the statement, and then an hour, or what is it? The statement comes out at 1, and then the conference starts 20 minutes later. So you have a lag, and who knows what happens there. Okay? Interesting. Next. So now Putin comes out and says, we will use all means necessary to blow up the world, basically. If we're losing, we're going to launch everything, and the whole world's going to go to shit. And the SPX is up. Interesting. Now, there's a reason why the SPX is up. Okay? Let's say he launches nukes. And let's say we launch nukes. And let's say everybody else launches nukes. Who cares if the market goes down to 100 SPX or 50 SPX? Everybody's going to be dead anyway. So the market doesn't care. They're saying, if you're going to kill everybody and everybody's going to kill everybody, we don't give a shit. Right? Very, very simple. Very simple. That's why the market's up. It doesn't matter if he's going to kill everybody and you're going to kill everybody. Then your money doesn't matter anyway. Now, if he tries to kill everybody and nobody dies, it's a whole different story. Interesting. But that's why his statement is worthless. Okay? Okay, next. This is very interesting to me. Would you not think, so Putin goes, talks to Xi. Why wouldn't somebody just blow up where they are? Putin leaves the country, why don't you just blow him up? Wherever it is. People are going to say, oh, casualties the other way. You get this guy that's threatening the world off the face of the earth. Interesting, right? Interesting. Okay, there's a lot of issues today, guys. Okay, Xi. There's rumors, there's a lot of rumblings that something's going to happen with Taiwan relatively fast. Just be aware. Okay. And here's the news that nobody's talking about. This is the news that nobody's talking about. And put it in the back of your head. The Nvidia CEO comes on yesterday. You could see the guy looked completely different than he usually looks. He's taken a stock from 360 to 120. The guy made massive mistakes. Everybody loves him. Oh my God, he's a great guy. He made mistakes. I mean, insane. I'm telling you. I told this guy used to be with me. You guys remember him, Steve. I mean, his logic was so effed up. He'd tell me he'd run a shop. And, oh, my break jobs are $250. Oh, but if I'm busy, they're $350. it's okay to gouge. This is how people think. It's so messed up, you don't even know what I think of that stuff. Okay? So now you go to Nvidia, and Nvidia had a bunch of cards, and they stopped putting those in stores, and they're giving them only a few a day, to raise the prices of the cards. And think about this. I mean, I still come back to this. You want a computer, and who the hell is paying $1,500 for a graphics card? Well, gamers are. I understand that. $1,500 for a gaming card. I mean, the stupidest shit I ever seen. And people let them get away with this for months and months and months and months and months. And then, I mean, the decisions this guy made are really, it's funny how everybody loves him. But here's the next decision. He said they're taking out features so you can't mine with those graphics cards. He took features out. So he took away demand for those. And now he needs demand. So yesterday he makes a statement, and I'm really surprised that Nvidia didn't drop $10 within a minute. He guided down, then he guided down again. Okay? He guided down, then he guided down again. Okay. Interesting, right? Okay. But then he says yesterday it's going to take 2 to 2.5 quarters to get rid of excess inventory. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I'm on the call. Call you back. Okay, bye. Okay. So, interesting, right? It's going to take 2.5 quarters. So it's not going to be done this quarter. Next quarter, he still has excess inventory. He's not going to guide up. And then another quarter. Wow. That's Nvidia. So why is it not down 10? Then the CRM guy comes on, and he's talking. I mean, you know, when people talk to me, when people say stuff, I'm so smart. Yeah, I pump my own tune. That's okay. I'm so smart. Here's the comment. And people that talk to you about job interviews and all this stuff, and then people tell you, oh, I'm really excited to work for your company. Nobody's excited to work for your company. They're just excited that they got a job interview and they're trying to suck up to you. When somebody says, we work 80-hour weeks here, and the guy says, oh, you know, that doesn't matter. I really love this job. This is the job I want. It's great. They go home and they tell wife, I'm going to work 80 hours. Wife says, find your stuff on the porch. You go take the job, and you hate it. Nobody wants to do that. So this guy comes out, and this is a statement that tells you people are lying. The CRM. I'm so excited about what's happening in the market. I'm so excited. Your stock has gone from 320 to 150, and you're so excited. The word so excited. But here's what they didn't say yesterday. Here's what they didn't say. The CRM CEO didn't say it's getting better. He didn't say it's getting better. Nvidia didn't say our revenue will start going up from here. He didn't say that. It's getting worse. And let's do one more math thing. And I just put it out on Twitter. Okay, one more thing on Twitter. Very, very interesting, right? So CRM, let's say they signed $300 million contract in EU for services. $300 million with a big company, say Procter & Gamble. Just making this up. And they get paid in euros 3 years ago. Well, the euro is 1.30 to $1. So they get paid $100 million. And they have all these employees there and everybody else. They get $100 million. They convert it, they get 100 million euros. They convert it to dollars. And they get $130 million. So that contract gave them $130 million a year one. They get the same amount next year and then year. So this year. Now it's reversed. It's $1.10, but let's say it's $1.20. It goes up another, well, $1.10. Okay. But it's to the dollar. So now they get paid in euros. Okay. They still get that 100 million euros. But now when they convert it to dollars, they only have $900 million. Isn't that interesting? So they lost 400 million euros. I'm using billions. I'm sorry, I'm using billions. So it's 3 billion. So they lose 400 million euros. On 100,000, they lose $40 million. But they have to still pay for all those employees. Lost. So people that have these contracts for 5 years, say they have this contract for 5 years and not 3 years. That means CRM earnings will be shit for 4 more years. Say they have a 10-year contract. Their earnings will be shit for 8 more years. He's excited. Really? You can't make this shit up. Now, they may have a clause in there that says we can renegotiate if XX happens, but I doubt it's there. Okay? But then he doesn't hedge. He can hedge where he doesn't lose any more money. And I mean, I told people this earlier, many years ago when oil was going up. Southwest Airlines hedges. Nobody else hedges. But American Airlines and stuff would never hedge. Let's say oil is going up and it's at $50. And they see it's going up. They can hedge and buy oil for their planes for $50. And for the next year or two, they can fly their planes at $50, even if it goes to $100 oil. But they don't do that. They're like, because if it goes from 50 to 20, we make more money. So they don't hedge. And then they get massacred. And that's what all these companies are doing. But that's the difference with snow. Snow is a pay-per-use. They don't have these contracts. So you get paid every year based on the usage. It's different. Okay? Now, I don't know where everything's going to go today, but you have 3 huge things today. You have Powell and what he's going to say. I don't see what he can say that's positive. But we could pop and go, and then go down later. Nvidia, who said really, really bad stuff yesterday, and it hasn't cratered. Now, people will say, but it didn't go down on bad news. But it will. Because he didn't tell you it's going to get better. He told you it's going to get worse, basically. So when does it turn around? That's negative. And CRM told you nothing's better. It's just 3 pieces of news that's pretty awful. Okay? Then we see. Okay? Interesting. The first move is not necessarily the best move. But here's the thing. One other thing is, I used to be of the opinion, and I changed my opinion a lot. I used to be of the opinion that Powell would not want to crush the market and yet to get inflation down. But, now I'm of the other opinion. Because I'm seeing people like Tom Lee and everybody else say, the market's going to go positive and it's going to go to 5,000. Think about it. It's going to go to 5,000 or 6,000 within a year and a half. Would inflation be down if that happened? Let's say we'll call you Juan. Let's say your name's Juan, and you have $10 million. And you're buying houses and stuff. Let's say you're buying houses, and you buy 5 houses. And the market goes down, and now you're worth $5 million. You're probably not buying any more houses. But let's say Powell says, okay, we're going to stop. And all of a sudden, the market goes up 4,400, 4,500, 4,600. And your original 10 million that was 5 is now 15. It's 15. You buy more houses. You buy more stuff. Inflation doesn't come down. Isn't that interesting? Very interesting, very interesting, very interesting. Then we see. Okay? So just know, we can go way up, we can go way down. There's times to chill, and there's times to go slow. Way slow. When does Sam buy 10 or 15 SPX versus 50 or 100 or 200? Way slower. Okay? But if the market is good, the techs have to lead. Yesterday, Apple led. That's why the market didn't collapse. The techs have to lead. But the chips are not getting better. Just know that. I have Nvidia 128s on them. If he pops this to 135, and we can go get like the 131s at $1 on a pop, very interesting. Because what he said was bad. So look, then we see. UNH. So much stuff today. UNH. Their cost is going to be less. That's who people should be buying. This stock should be at 550. If you're running a business and your cost is less, that's good for your business. It means your margins are higher. But they're not really taking it up. That's telling you something. Just know that. Just know that, know that, know that. Solar. We bought First Solar at 90. It's 130. It moved a lot. It can sit here for months before it goes. It's okay. Time to chill. Wait for the next move. Then we see. Okay? Okay, wow. Okay, that's what we know. Let's get started. Wow, long ramble. Good morning, everybody. 9:21. Stocks go up, stocks go down. SPX up, 13? That puts it at 38.68, 38.70. You got 3900, 3921 accelerator, 3982. Huge number. Downside, 3800 breaks. Everything breaks. Okay? CMG holding, 1652 today on the downside, 1751 on the upside. Nvidia, 129, 126. Lam Research, 391, 382. Goldman Sachs, 329, 333. Hold on a sec. Underneath. Okay. Underneath is. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second here. Goldman Sachs underneath is 309. Regeneron, 716, 721. Dixie, the dollar is way up. Not so good. The dollar continues to fly. Let me tell you, if Powell says 75 and 75 next time, the dollar is going to go to 111. They're going to implode the market. Apple, 151 down, 162 up. Sava, can it get to 41? Then they can get to 50. That'll be fun. Very nice. If the market goes down 100 SPX, Sava doesn't care. It's a doesn't care stock today. It will do what it wants to do. Amazon, 119, 150. MDB, 216, 209. Snowman, 189, 193, underneath 170. Netflix. Why do they keep taking Netflix? Why does Netflix think they can charge more, 50% more than anybody for an ad? And they're going to advertise to people that will only buy their streaming service with ads because they don't have money. You're paying more for an ad to show to people that don't have money to buy the product. Unbelievable. NOW, 409,400. Tesla, 313, 316. Enphase, 303, 301. Needs 322 to be better. First Solar needs 142 to be better. Moderna, 136, 138. MicroStrategy, 191. That's what we got. Okay, so much stuff. Everybody